We're less than 2 weeks to Wisconsin's spring elections, where voters will pick a new justice on the state Supreme Court. It's a race that's seen funding balloon past $80 million between the two candidates. As early voting tallies come in, our Emilee Fannon and WisPolitics editor J.R. Ross break down where the race stands.
We reached another milestone with record spending in the state Supreme Court race, and according to your tally, JR, from WisPolitics, we're upwards to about $80 million in spending between both candidates. And that's likely to climb even higher as we still have a few more days until April 1st. But the real takeaway here is that, yes, there's a lot of money at play. We know that Elon Musk and groups affiliated with him are spending a lot on the race. But when you're looking also and diving into the numbers, Susan Crawford, that is backed by Democrats, she is also having a much bigger presence on TV ads. So yes, there's a lot of things going on with this, but also there's new reporting that we found that Elon Musk is now doing the similar incentives that he did during the November presidential cycle of offering incentives. Here's $100. Conservatives, sign this petition, and hopefully we can connect and get more people out to the polls on April 1st.
So TV first, candidates get a better rate than outside groups do. Looking at the spending, Crawford's about $23 million through Friday. Now, number-wise, that's pretty big. What's more important is it's called gross ratings points, the volume of ads you're putting up in the air. Looking at the last 2 weeks of the race, Crawford by herself has more ads running than the entire Brad Schimmel coalition between the candidate and outside groups. It tells you that Democrats are spending money more wisely. It's also a sign of money going from big donors, the Democratic Party, to Crawford to spend that money. You're seeing some of that Republican side, but it's been spent more efficiently on the Democratic side. To Musk, $100, it's on the ground game, right? So we are seeing right now, through the reports filed with the state, that both sides are fully engaged with their groups of like door knocking, calls, text messages. Why? This is a nationalized race, and for a couple of reasons. One, for Democrats, you have all this energy in your base right now. President Trump is back in office. Elon Musk is this divisive figure. Democrats are angry. They're not just angry at them, they're angry at their own party because they passed a community resolution. Keep the government up. They didn't stand up against Trump. They want to funnel that energy somewhere. Where do you put it? Well, for Crawford, you want it funneled toward the polls. Get those guys to go out and vote. For the Trump folks and national Republicans, a couple of things going on. One, this is going to be seen a referendum on Donald Trump. If Crawford wins, it'd be a little bit of a hit for Trump early in his second term. They want to avoid that. Number two, you see Republicans talk about congressional maps. There was a challenge filed the map with the current Supreme Court trying to take it up. They've warned Republicans this could come back. And in a narrowly divided House, if you flip a couple seats in Wisconsin, it could be the whole ballgame in 2026. There's that issue. And then third, can you get the Trump coalition back out? If this electorate looks like 2023, the spring race, Crawford's probably got a good chance to win. If you make it look like November of 24, it's better for Schimmel. How do you do that? Get Trump voters out. They've shown so far in Wisconsin and elsewhere, they come out when Trump's on the ballot, but not when he's not. Can you get those guys out in a lower turnout spring election like this one?
Right, and you're seeing conservatives use every tool in the toolbox that they have, right? I mean, they're always competing against Democrats, especially the state Democratic Party here in Wisconsin that has for years a really good ground game with door knocking, reaching voters. Now we're seeing conservatives trying to bring in big time surrogates to the state. Now Elon Musk is offering incentives. Hey, do you want $100? Sign this petition. I mean, it's gonna be fascinating for me to see if conservatives, like you said, this race is all about turnout, which always usually is the battleground state, but can they get those young conservative voters that voted for Trump in November, and then for even to realize that there is an election on April 1st? Because it's all about those low propensity voters that don't typically turn out in spring elections, which conservatives really need.
Republicans felt good about how things went in November. I mean, look, Trump won the state by 29,000 votes. You saw Turning Point USA, Musk Group, state GOP all doing stuff. They're back again. And who are they targeting? Low propensity voters, Trump voters who have the signs up still from the fall election, but aren't really tuned into what's going on normally in a spring election in Wisconsin. If you look at electorate in Wisconsin in the spring, it's moved toward a leaning Dem electorate. We are a purple state every November. Purple, purple, purple. In April, though, we're a more bluish purple. Can you get that back to that true purple and improve Schimmel's chances April 1st.
Right. We also got our first kind of flavor of what the early voting numbers are telling us. And there was also a lot of course, get out the vote efforts with big time surrogates here in the state pushing people to the polls. On the conservative side, Brad Schimmel was on stage with Donald Trump Jr. and Charlie Kirk. He is the founder of Turning Point Action. Meanwhile, you had people like Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota come here and, try to rally supporters for Susan Crawford. Now, Crawford wasn't at that event, but still, this just goes to show you, hey, please go out and vote early, something that conservatives have been trying to do for many years, encouraging their base. But what we want to get to is when looking at the numbers, it's looking promising that there is a lot of interest in this race compared to 2023 of how many people are casting ballots early. But looking ahead to next week, Jared, that's when we're really going to try to get a sense of how many people are actually turning out heading before April 1st.
It's not just how many, but who is turning out. And when I bring that up, if you go back to 2023, Democrats were much more in tune with absentee voting than Republicans. The state GOP has made a very big push on early voting. It was successful in 2024. So when I see numbers middle of next week, is it traditional April voters turning out, casting ballots early, or are those November Trump voters, are they turning out? We saw numbers up in Waukesha County, Milwaukee County, and Dane County compared to 2 years ago. Also, Washington County had a big jump. But again, who are those voters? Are they regular spring voters, which, hey, you bank their vote, great, go chase others, or are they not non-traditional April voters? That could be a boost for Schimmel if they are.
All right, that will do it for this week. Thanks so much for joining us.